Yahoo News, 21st of February 2024, China claims that the U.S. has given the go-ahead to massacre Hamas in Gaza. China and Iran supported Hamas in its attempt to establish a second front in the Middle East to contain American forces and divert attention from the actual threat originating from East Asia. After the U.S. vetoed a UN Security Council resolution demanding an immediate humanitarian pause in Gaza, China accused the U.S. of approving slaughter. On Tuesday, the U.S. vetoed the resolution proposed by Algeria, claiming that it was not the right time for a general ceasefire that leaves Hamas in control. Given the situation on the ground, the continued passive avoidance of an immediate ceasefire is nothing different from giving a green light to the continued slaughter, China's UN envoy Zhang Jun said in a strongly worded response to the measure. These remarks are China's most pointed critique of U.S. actions in Gaza so far. Washington referred to the Algerian resolution as wishful and irresponsible since it makes no connection between the release of hostages and a ceasefire. But according to Mr. Zhang, the conflict's spillover is destabilizing the entire Middle East region, raising the risk of a wider war. We can only stop the fires of hell from spreading throughout the entire region by putting out the flames of war in Gaza. The U.S. is getting ready to present its resolution to the Security Council, which would demand the unconditional release of all captives, the easing of limitations on humanitarian aid, and a temporary truce as soon as practicable. Even though neither Israel nor Hamas is willing to make concessions, the Biden administration has maintained that it is imperative to give the current ceasefire talks a chance. The anticipated military operation in Rafah, the southernmost city of Gaza where around 1.4 million Palestinians are seeking sanctuary, is being firmly pressed by Israel's supporters. Prince William calls for a truce. On Tuesday, Prince William backed the demands for an end to hostilities in Gaza, saying that too many people have died in the conflict between Israel and Hamas. Israelis, of course, want to see an end to the fighting as soon as possible, and that will be possible once the 134 hostages are released and once the Hamas terror army that is threatening to repeat the October 7 atrocities is dismantled, said Ilan Levy, the spokesman for the Israeli government, in response to Prince William's remarks. We welcome the Prince of Wales' request that Hamas release the captives. We also gratefully remember his remarks on October 11, in which he denounced the terror assaults carried out by Hamas and reiterated Israel's right to defend itself against them. A durable, permanent ceasefire must happen now, said Labour Party leader Keir Starmer, while the UK abstained from the Security Council voting on Algeria's proposal. With Benjamin Netanyahu adamant about attaining his vision of total victory, which includes the ultimate destruction of Hamas and the freeing of all hostages, Israel is unable to accept an indefinite ceasefire. Israel's defense minister, Yoav Gallant, echoed Mr. Netanyahu on Wednesday, stating, "We have one goal in mind, victory. We cannot achieve normalization and regional integration unless we defeat Hamas." In the meantime, Hamas also stands by its demands for a ceasefire agreement, which includes the complete evacuation of Israeli troops from Gaza and the redevelopment of the territory. In recent weeks, relatives of Israeli hostages have taken to the streets, with many claiming that their country has abandoned its citizens in Gaza.